Mm. Yo, good morning, guys.
To save energy and money, try PPL's energy efficient.
I am the Lord your God. Have no other gods before me. It's actually a quote. It's still Gian here, although it was empowering for a moment. Still, those 10 commandments can be pretty commanding, can't they? Those divine moral standards from the Old Testament have shaped laws, institutions, and ethical beliefs for millennia, as well as being the focal point of cultural and religious conflicts. But how should we interpret the original intent of the commandments today? My next guest has a few ideas, and he's sure to upset religious purists and skeptics. That's because he is Christopher Hitchens, the writer, political commentator, and author of God is Not Great, the bestseller that argues religious faith itself is false, unnecessary, and in some cases, and I quote, a threat to human survival. He's in Canada to kick off a series at Toronto's Royal Ontario Museum in association with the ROM's exhibition Dead Sea Scrolls, words that change the world. Mr. Hitchens will give his thoughts on how the Bible's moral codes can be interpreted today, and he'll be asked to add 3 more commandments to the original 10. Right now, Christopher Hitchens joins me in Studio Q. Hello, sir.
I'm absolutely happy.
It's very good to have you here. Let me start with the obvious. Why is a renowned atheist commenting on something he doesn't believe in?
Well, don't think I didn't consider asking you wrong why I was getting a twofer. But start by saying I'm more of an anti-theist than an atheist. In other words, my view is not just that there is no reason to believe that there is a deity, but all the arguments that there is one have all long since been exploded by philosophers.
I gotta take a picture of this painting and put it on social media.
Scientists, physicists, biologists, mainly by philosophers. But that it's a good thing that that's not the case. I do know some non-believers who wish it was true, who would think it would be nice if there was a celestial dictatorship.
Sure.
I can't make myself want what it is a celestial dictatorship. I think it would be the absolute definition of unfreedom if there was an unchanging, undying, all-supervising, all-knowing Father who kept you under surveillance. You were born, all your life, and after you were dead.
There's secretly no part of you somewhere inside you that thinks it wouldn't be so bad to hang out in heaven and or live beyond your 80 or so years or however
No,
long.
I don't have any big brother envy at all. It's much more a big brother than a big father idea. But I mean, I am a father, and I know what other jobs a father is. To, as it were, move on. I won't put it any more dramatically than that. And get out of the way, give the children some room. If I said to them, hey children, I'm never leaving. You'll always have me. Always. Forever. In fact, I'm going to be at your funerals, and in the meantime, I'm going to supervise you. Even after you're dead, I'm going to carry on.
Go to another place.
What kind of fatherhood is that? What kind of paradise would it be? You know, I mean, if one was to believe in the supernatural at all, which I don't, I made illusion, you can see why Milton makes the devil so attractive, because he'd rather be in hell than be serving forever a benevolent dictator.
Well, I mean, to return to my question.
So that's paradise to be gained.
Interestingly, in your book, you make the case that if the Lord created everything, why does He need commandments? Why does He then need to give us rules? Let me flip it on you. If you don't believe in it, why do you need to tell us about your disbelief?
Well, staying with my point about the totalitarian and the authoritarian, if you want in the real world, the only world I think we have, the material world, physical world, if you want to have power over other human beings, the most potent way, that's a bit of a repetition to say potent and powerful, but anyway, the most effective way of claiming, exerting power over fellow humans is to say you're doing it in God's name, that you're God's appointed. They can't challenge that. You can't just say, hey, I'm me, you should do what I say. Well, though people do. But they can get laughed at, which potential tyrants hate. The best thing is to say, no, I'm doing God's work. I am God's representative. That's been, ever since antiquity, the easiest way of establishing a dictatorship, and the worst dictatorships today are still theocratic ones. So what this all represents is an unresolved contradictions in the real world. And that, you'll notice, is where priests really want power. Look at the way the Pope behaves. Look at the way the Ayatollahs behave. Look at the way the rabbis on the West Bank stealing other people's property in the name of God behave. Do they want power in this world or the next? It's pretty obvious which one they want power, and property too.
Specifically in the case of the commandments, you wrote an essay for Slate a few years ago, and in it you questioned what you called the vague pre-Christian desert morality of the Ten Commandments, which you say show every sign of being invented by a Bronze Age demagogue. So we can assume that you don't have much respect for the Ten Commandments.
Well, you notice the Ten Commandments begin by saying don't have any other gods. In other words, they're not even monotheistic. They're saying there are other gods, but I'm a jealous one. Choose me. And then they're all addressed to people who don't know about anything except agriculture. All the commandments are effectively to do with agricultural subsistence, except the commandments that every society has.
Right.
Such as prohibitions against
murder,
theft, and perjury are the ones that are, I would say, unimpeachable. And then I don't want to give away too much about that, speaking of later, but this much. I mean, the 10th commandment, which is the one I'm writing independently, another. All the commandments are effectively to do with agricultural subsistence, except for commandments that every society has.
Right. Desert morality of the Ten Commandments, which you say show every sign of being invented by a Bronze Age demagogue. So we can assume that you don't have much respect for the Ten Commandments.
Well, you notice the Ten Commandments begin by saying, don't have any other gods. In other words, they're not even monotheistic. They're saying there are other gods, but I'm a jealous one.
Did anybody ever notice that in the Bible? I noticed that shit early on too, yo. Like, the God in the Bible, the Old Testament, because you gotta differentiate between Old Testament God and New Testament God, because it ain't the same character. But Old Testament God, this motherfucker never said there are no other gods. He said, do not worship other gods. And I'm like, huh? What? I thought that you're God and you're the only God, but obviously that's not the case. He just said don't worship other gods. The only God. Old Testament God never said that. He said just don't worship any other gods like Moloch or Baal.
Do they want power in this world or the next? It's pretty obvious which one they want power in, and property too.
Specifically in the case of the commandments, you wrote an essay for Slate a few years ago, and in it you questioned what you called the vague pre-Christian desert morality of the Ten Commandments, which you say show every sign of being invented by a Bronze Age demagogue. So we can assume that you don't have much respect for the Ten Commandments.
Well, you notice the Ten Commandments begin by saying don't have any other gods. In other words, they're not even monotheistic. They're saying there are other gods, but I'm a jealous one. Choose me. And then they're all addressed to people who don't know about anything except agriculture. I mean, all the commandments are effectively to do with animals and agricultural subsistence, except for commandments that every society has.
Right.
Such as prohibitions against
murder, lying.
Murder, theft, and perjury are the ones that are, I would say, unimpeachable. And then I don't want to give away too much about what I'm speaking of later, but I'll just say this much. I mean, the 10th commandment, which is the one I'm writing independently another book about, forbidding thought, defining thought crime, that's all I would put it, as Big Brother does put it for the first time. You're not allowed to think about your neighbour's property.
Right.
You're not allowed to covet, not allowed
right.
to have the ambition to be as well off as, or have the, it's not, you mustn't take your neighbour's property. You mustn't try and annex it yourself, steal it. You mustn't even think about it. The beginning of thought crime, which is the beginning of the totalitarian idea that you're guilty for thinking things, which you may only have been half aware of doing, you may have been half asleep. You're still condemned. This is very, very dangerous stuff.
I mean, you're obviously well established and renowned as a contrarian thinker, but is this really this black and white for you? I mean, are there no nuances? Are you resolutely believe that there's no use for these commandments?
Well, no, to the contrary, I'm sorry. I mean, in the Analects of Confucius, for example, long before monotheism, it says, don't do to another person what you would find repulsive done to yourself. It's actually a rather weaker rule than most people realize, but it is what we call the golden rule. It's been around as long as human society's been around.
Don't do unto thy neighbor.
We wouldn't, you and I, couldn't have evolved far enough to be having this discussion with this technology if people were any different. I mean, if we didn't have an instinct for solidarity and for common interest and for care for one another, life would be impossible. The idea that we wouldn't know this without a supernatural authority, however, is a groveling, slavish idea, as if we need permission to know what is innate to us. Religion actually takes its morality from us, not the other way around.
So, right.
Whereas
God didn't create humans, humans created God.
Let me put it like this. I mean, if I put this question to various people quite senior religious people in public in debates several times, and they haven't come up with an answer yet. You have to tell me of a moral statement that could be made by a believer, or a moral action undertaken by a believer, that I couldn't make or undertake because I'm not a believer. Would be impossible.
Hold up,
for
I'm
me.
gonna get with you. Hold up. I'm trying to edit this
Looking
picture
for
real
what
quick.
that would be. Whereas if I ask you the corollary question, can you think of a wicked action done by a believer because of his or her belief? You can think of one right away. The suicide bombing community is all religious. The genital mutilation community, not exclusively,
Right.
because of the Tamil Tigers, I suppose, who are partly religious.
But religious people wouldn't
but
claim
the
that.
genital mutilation of children is a religious commandment.
Right.
These are things that wickedness is that people wouldn't commit without God. So there's quite a sharp divorce between ethics and religion, and morality and religion.
But I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a religious person who would claim that there's never been any negative implications or violence or wicked deeds that have been done in the name of religion.
They say in the name of. It's not in the name of. That's their get-out clause. You echo it yourself. Don't mean to pick you up on it. Actually,
Sure.
yes, I do.
Go ahead.
It's not in the
Please
name
do.
of. No, it's explicit. It's part of the religion. The most celebrated action of the Abrahamic is the willingness of someone to gut and murder his own son because he thinks it will please God.
But the flip side of that, I mean, if you say, you go back to Confucius, if the basic rules of these commandments, some of them, I mean, and I'm thinking from 4 through 8 now, right? Adultery, lying, stealing, be honest. These are basic, if these are basic rules that people use to try and live a good life or try and be good to their fellow citizens, what's wrong with that?
Nothing, except that if you're telling me that the Jewish people wouldn't have known this if they hadn't been at the foot of Mount Sinai and having it on tablets as if from God. Now, as it happens, that story is a myth. I mean, there was no Egyptian slavery, there was no exile, there was no wandering in the Sinai. All that's made up, but it's still insulting to the Jewish people to say that without this, they would not have known that perjury, say, just to take one example, it's not. If they thought perjury was okay, they wouldn't have been able to stick together long enough to get to the foot of Mount Sinai, or wherever it was or was not.
You're saying that religion or the commandments don't serve the foundation of morality?
No, I
that it would
also
have
think
existed.
it's also very dangerous to say that what should be effortless, innate, the sort of thing that you don't have to teach to children, is instead something that you only can get from an unanswerable dictator, from a totalitarian authority who says, I command you this, and in return, I give you the territory of other people. I'll give you land that I will clear, holy land that I will clear of the existence of all others. I'll give you the power to murder and slaughter and erase and take away the property of anyone who gets in your way. That's not morality, that's an inducement.
But so what do you say to true believers, those who sincerely question whether true morality can exist in the absence of God?
Well, I point out to them that they're mistaken. And also,
And you do so quite aggressively.
Also, I worry for them because it makes me wonder if they didn't believe in the existence of God, would they stop believing in the existence of the principles? I mean, in other words, what is stopping them? I once saw, it's in my book, which you might have mentioned, by the way, as a fine bookstores everywhere.
Yeah, I think I mentioned bestseller.
So
it's called God is Not Great, How Religion Questions Everything.
sounds like a dictator.
I saw a famous debate between
Something
Catholic
like North
Bishop
Korea would
Butler
say.
and Professor A.J. Ayer, great humanist professor. The bishop said to the professor, if you believe there's no God, what stops you from going on an endless campaign of rape, theft, incest, the rest of it? I mean, and I was agog to see this question from a man of the cloth. As was, for a monstrous thing to say.
I don't know if
I didn't agree with you, I would become
I don't know if you realize it or not, but religion and the belief in a God, a creator God, has been the catalyst for most of the strife and disconjointedness throughout all of history. Because different people believe in different shit, and different people believe so strongly in different things that they will kill you for it. And the world that we currently lived in is structured due to holy wars. And the world we live in is still currently run by religious fanatics. That's why everybody in America cares what religion the president is. Because, oh, Barack Obama might be a Muslim, and we can't have a Muslim. Why? Why? Because his God is different from our God. And so, yeah, that does affect your purchase at the grocery store when you're buying milk, eggs, and bread. The same way that the whole fucking Chick-fil-A shit about homosexuals. Why? Because we're a Christian corporation and we believe in God, and faggots are against the Bible, and we're not serving faggots at our and that shit trickles down into your everyday life. So yeah, this type of knowledge and education is good, and it is vital for everybody to understand how religious systems to this day currently prosecute and have so much control over government and state, which in the American Constitution is in black and white saying that they should be separated. But they're not. And most people who wholeheartedly believe in a God are just flat out fed lies their entire lives from this tradition of superstition. Is basically what it is. Your religion is a tradition of superstition. And it causes people to do weird shit and to act weird ways and manners, and to vote and push legislative agendas in a certain way, where now in some states, if a female has an abortion, she can go to jail for 20 or 30 fucking years, because that's how the Christians want it to be. So, and why was Mitt Romney like so iffy as a fucking presidential candidate? Because he's a Mormon, and Barack Obama's a Muslim, and the other motherfucker was a Catholic. They only want Christians in there. Good, God-fearing, Jesus-loving Christians to run this nation, so we can keep our free market stable enough so that you can have a high purchasing power at the grocery store when you go and buy milk, eggs, and bacon. But I'll stop talking about that part. Because I like my milk, eggs, and my bacon. This shit's delicious. Mm. Still fuck with his social media real quick, trying to post this picture of my latest masterpiece. All right. So we're going to varnish some canvases this morning. All right. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Hold up, people. Hold up. I just checking some shit real quick, like, real quick, like. All right. So that's going well. It's going according to plan. Everything is going according to plan. All right. Christopher Hitchens.
I mean, what arrogance, unbelievable. This from a church where it's just been the empowerer, shelterer, and coverer up for rape and torture of children for decades, if not centuries. But worse than that, and I pose this question in my book, what's in the bishop's mind? Is he saying to himself, thank goodness I believe in the resurrection. Otherwise, I'd be out there raping and pillaging and perjuring. And that's all that's stopping me. That's a huge confession for the guy to make. I think.
But clearly, just
I'm sorry to say, I have enough self. No, I'm not sorry to say. I'm glad to say, I have enough self-respect in my own instance to say no. That's not what stops me. It's not the fear of hellfire that stops me.
But, I mean, and you do make that point.
Or the fear of some posturing priest.
But if the priest or the believer who says, it's because I want to go to heaven, or it's because I believe in this, then therefore doesn't do those things, doesn't
then I have a great Sufi prayer for those people. For a very fine old wise man of antiquity who prayed and said, God, if I believe in you for the fear of heaven, deny me heaven. If I believe in you out of, did I say fear of heaven? Out of wish for heaven. Out of the desire for heaven, deny me heaven. If I only believe in you out of fear of hell, send me straight to hell. It matters what the motive is, what the state of mind is.
Because surely there's people who are doing good things in the world in the name of religion. Would you agree with that at least? I mean, whether it's liberation theology or whether it's digging wells and
liberation theology is nonsense, sinister nonsense.
Well, would you agree that there's anything in the world that has been done in the name of religion that's positive? Habitat for Humanity.
It falls under so things done by Jimmy Carter are done by Jimmy Carter. If you're telling me people wouldn't help build affordable housing if they weren't Baptist fundamentalists.
No, I'm telling you that they do it for those reasons.
Well, then let them do it. It just says nothing about their faith. Carter's faith is still nonsense. Carter's the guy who runs Habitat for Humanity is still the guy who goes to the Israelis and says the problem with you is you've abandoned the prophetic tradition. You've walked away from your religion. You've become too secular. That's what's wrong with your state. A wicked and ridiculous thing to say. He can hammer as many nails into as many staircases as he likes for the rest of his life. He won't make up for the horror of that remark.
I'm wondering when you read a book,
or his belief in UFOs, or his belief that he's been born again. When once it's quite enough with a guy like Carter. Believe me.
When you write a book like God Is Not Great, which I think is if not provocative, a tremendously entertaining read. I mean, it's
and available at fine bookstores.
Thank you. Yes.
Nationwide.
Tell me who you think your audience is, because you're quite aggressive with your argument. And really, if you want to, I mean, if you really want to change things, it might take some effort, to overcome organized religion in the world. But I'm wondering if the tact of saying, hey, being a little softer in your approach might be more effective than, I'm wondering if you're going to find a receptive audience for believers who just hear someone who's very aggressively telling them they're wrong.
I know what you're saying, and you're kind to give me tactical advice, but when I launched the book, I said to my publishers, I don't want to do the liberal traditional book tour, Toronto, New York, Vancouver, Seattle, Los Angeles, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I want to go to the south of the United States, and I want to get a challenger in every city we go to, whether it's Atlanta or Little Rock or something, and have a debate about it, not just do a reading in an upscale bookstore. And so that's how it did get launched, and that's why it's a bestseller, because I get invited not less than twice a month to either the campuses or the pulpits of the American Christian right.
Do you think you win people over who are already
Well, if I
converts?
don't, I've given them reason to rethink. I can't say I win them over. I know I've won some people over, but that's not the point. The point is, I'm not trying to convert by definition. I'm not in the conversion business, but forcing them to confront what they believe and to re-examine it. That's been the whole success of the book, actually. And I think if I'd moderated my tone or made it seem as if I could split the difference with them, there would be much less to debate. One needs as much heat as one needs light. Because light is only produced by heat.
I don't want to suggest that it's an epidemic, but there does seem to be a big surge of interest in atheism, or anti-theism in your case. Not only your book, God Is Not Great, which is available apparently in bookstores across the nation, but Richard Dawkins' book, The God Delusion, Bill Maher's popular movie Religulous. there's atheist bus ad campaigns. Why is this all happening now? From your
Because
perspective?
people are fed up with theocratic bullying, both at home and abroad, and they've had too much of it, and they're fed up, I think, also with our profession, yours and mine, great profession, which always treats people as if the assumption is that they're religious unless you hear to the contrary, as if everyone is a person of faith, or as if faith was something to be respected. Actually, people are annoyed with this assumption. The fastest growing minority in North America is of those who check the box and say none of the above and ask what faith they profess. And as people open their daily paper and look around the world, they see the nightmare of a theocracy going nuclear in imminently, perhaps both in Iran and in Pakistan. They see what the parties of God are doing to ruin Iraq and Lebanon. They see the mad Jewish settlers in the West Bank trying to bring on Armageddon and the Messiah by stealing other people's property. They see arrogant, ignorant cretins in the United States trying to teach nonsense to children in school by law, trying to stultify children with creationist babble. And they've had enough of it, and they don't like the easy assumptions made by politicians like Bush that if you can just pronounce the word faith, that you've covered it. And I think it's high time for a pushback, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
Well, what you talked about in terms of the growth of the non-believers and the recognition, in fact, from President Obama a couple of times now, in talking about non-believers, does seem to fly in the face of the orthodoxy in which the world is becoming a more religious place and more polarized as such between the growth of Christianity or the Bible Belt, etc., in the U.S. and Islam in the Middle East, and so why do we hear so much about that?
These things don't come and go in even measurable ways. For example, the fastest growing religion in South America is probably Pentecostal Protestantism. Catholic Church is on the defensive there. On the other hand,
I know that's right.
Catholic Church is growing.
Just gotta punch shit sometimes, bro.
Islam is having several
punch
civil
something.
wars within itself, both between the modernizers and the fundamentalists, but also between the Sunni and the Shia, between both of those and discrepant sects like the Ahmadi, for example, the Ismaili Muslims. So there's a permanent roiling about which kind of faith it is. Impervious, though that may seem, impenetrable, though that may seem to the outsider, and so forth. But there's a steady growth of people who say enough of this. We can live a moral life without religion. And the most successful societies are able to separate the church from the state by law and enforce it by their constitution. These are the happiest, most prosperous, most democratic countries. And we have to stop taking this for granted and be willing to defend it against the endless attacks by theocrats.
All right, I went to this gym this morning too,
On this line, we will take this.
and
We being the atheist community, almost like you're an
no,
organizer.
about to
Many
go,
people who don't believe in God, of course, will be involved.
I'm about to go fix a shape. Marco, how do you know, bro? From Berlin, you watch homosexual stuff like that, bro? How would you even know? Is the question. I'm just asking a question. Huh? How would you even know? Alright, so what I need to do is, like I say, man, I did my little workout this morning. Boy, that goddamn shit got me hungry as hell. I worked up an appetite. So I am about to go fix me a protein shake real quick. Him can't speak at the moment. How do I know about homosexual stuff? Cat got him tongue, yo. You gotta watch what you say, man, because sometimes what you say don't make sense, and that shit come around and bite you in the ass, like you chewing on your own tail or something. Don't do that, cause you try to make a joke and try to make the shit funny, but when you really, really think about it, you are very questionable. You are very questionable. Cause I just asked a simple question. How do you know? What kind of shit are you watching to even know that? Huh? I'm not saying nothing's wrong. I'm just asking how you know though. Jeez. Alright, so if you guys are on my Instagram, cause I might want to varnish it. I haven't. Uh, he don't got no nothing to follow up behind it. That shit don't work like that, bro. Yo, sketch. Uh, so we're live on YouTube right now. We got a troll earlier in the morning. Caught them out they slipping trying to say some retarded shit just now. But anyway, live in the studio. I'm about to run downstairs and fix a shape real quick. Then I'm gonna come back up here and I gotta varnish this painting and I need to varnish that painting. And so I actually want to varnish them on the dual stream with the Instagram and the PlayStation. I swear, man, fans get so nervous when they're in the presence of greatness. They just get tongue tied and say silly shit, and then they get shy and don't want to say nothing else after they realize they just said some silly ass shit. It's all good though. Yo, YouTube, man, if y'all want to follow me downstairs, man, jump on the Instagram. I'm on Instagram Live. About to walk downstairs real quick. Fix this protein shake. This nigga like me hungry. And we're back. And my stomach is full of protein shake. Alright, so now we're gonna try to use some of this to varnish some canvases. Gambling's Gamvar. Gamvar. Sounds like a character from Star Wars almost. Alright. Let's put the phone on that tripod. Alright, something like that. You guys good? Put this shit on the charger. Is what I should have done first. Alright, phone is on the charger. Damn, that shit sound good, bro. See, motherfuckers don't know how to spice their eggs up like that, boy. Put them peppers and onions in your eggs, man. Shit. Put them peppers and onions in that shit, boy. The incredible edible egg. Too lazy to cook this morning. I gotta do a breakfast episode of Cooking with the Prince. And show y'all how to make the pancakes, then, boy. I might do that tomorrow morning. Breakfast, sauteed. Ooh. Breakfast with the Prince. Alright. So I got one of these brushes. Nobody on Instagram? Yo. I kind of figured nobody don't watch this shit on Instagram. What? We tried. What the fuck? Anyway. Alright. No Instagram, so we'll try one more time with the dual stream and see if somebody sees something on Facebook. So this should definitely be interesting, to say the least. So now what I want to do is, actually want to, I guess I can come from this side. Yeah. Something like that. Move this a little bit. All right. Oh wow, really? All right, screw it.
People who are in doubt or agnostic, but who think that, say, the First Amendment to the United States Constitution is worth fighting for. Congress shall make no law.
Yo, what up?
No one to define
Angel,
the
what's
country,
up?
Okay.
this yours or mine, as a Christian one, say, let alone as
So,
potentially one day Muslim.
Gonna try a new varnish.
One day.
Haven't used a pour-on varnish like this in a minute. I'm actually scared to do this.
Look what happened to Iran.
I've been using a spray-on varnish for so long.
A great civilized country.
This seems like it's ready.
Yeah.
Chris, you're here in Canada to essentially to add 3 commandments to the original 10. What do you think is missing from the 10 commandments? What will you be bringing to the stage?
Well, I can tell you what is otherwise commanded in the Bible. I mean, and very near in verses very closely adjunct to the famous ones. Remember, the Ten Commandments appear twice in the text. It's in Exodus and it's in Deuteronomy. Slightly different writing. And there are all kinds of other instructions in between. And these include genocide, rape,
Alright, here we go, guys.
slavery, mutilation of children, and so on.
I feel like I'm about to fuck this shit up.
You get an idea of what I might recommend.
Snap!
Commandments.
Whoa! Looks
The Bible
crazy.
already did recommend. That was horrible. And again, I'll end on the question I always think that religion is morality. I think we have to account for the immoral things that religion demands that people do. It's not in the name of. It's in the word of God himself. These are commandments and instructions. These are warrants for genocide, rape, slavery, infant mutilation, and worse. By working out what the negation of those would be, how humans can emancipate themselves from the evil propaganda of a man-made God, then you could probably guess what my contrary recommendation is.
It's a circuitous route, but I think I follow you.
I know you can. I know your intuition is up to it.
Wow. I should probably use a
Let me end off
brush
here.
instead
Even
of
outside of the
spray
context
with
of
this,
religion, we can probably all agree that we
how
still have
textured
to
I have this
lead our
canvas.
lives by certain values. What do you think it takes to lead a good life?
For me, irony, literature as the source of reflection on moral and ethical and human topics. Laughing at the misfortunes of others, that gets me through.
Laughing at the misfortune of others.
Love, and some of the things that go with it.
Wow.
The possibility of passing on your genes to children, the only kind of immortality. And did I mention this already? Laughing at the misfortune of others. And also to being proved right, being vindicated in arguments that other people wish they hadn't had with you. They have to say, okay, I was wrong and you were right. Maybe that one.
And when they do that, you can laugh at their misfortune.
Maybe that one above all. And also adding terrifically to the gale of laughter on inhabit the sufferings that they're undergoing.
Christopher Hitchens, I thank you for this. Thanks for making the time to come in today.
No, it's an honor. Thanks for having me.
Christopher Hitchens is the author of more than 10 books, including God is Not Great, How Religion Poisons Everything. And Christopher Hitchens joined me here live at Studio Q.
God is not great. How religion poisons everything. I wanted to use that sponge, but it's too much texture on this canvas. I gotta get the bristles in there to get in between and down to the grooves and creases of this thing. Alright, gonna pour some more on here.
'Tis the season
to mix things up
Tis the
in a
season.
Cadillac. Current eligible non-GM lessees get this low mileage lease on this 2020 Cadillac XT6.
No, we don't have Alright. Don't fuck up the canvas trap.
Okay, so British universities seem to be carrying themselves safe places these days, where one is expected not to evince any opinion that might upset anyone on campus. A, what do you think about it, and B, do you feel there's anything we can usefully do to expose young people to ideas they don't have already?
What on earth is a university for, other than to be challenged and to be made to think and made to argue, and if necessary, made to face up to things that you find distasteful? I am actually appalled by this tendency to infantilism that is infecting not just our universities, but those in America as well. A rash of cases where people have been invited by student societies to go and speak, and have then been disinvited at the behest of the student union on the grounds that what they say might upset some of the students or offend some of the students. Well, if you're offended or upset, tough. That's what you come to university for. May I quote Stephen Fry? Stephen Fry said, "You're offended? Well, so fucking what?"
It does seem incredible. Could I just ask, are you speaking from a position of somebody inside a university?
No, I just pay for them.
Right. I think that certainly many of us inside universities, or many of us academics inside universities, feel very strongly attached to our academic freedom. I think it is one of the rights that we will fight for.
Lectures, not just invited speakers, lectures now being censored.
Yes.
They might offend.
Yes, you have to issue a trigger warning. Have you ever issued a trigger warning, Alice?
No, I haven't issued a trigger warning. I don't let anybody know what I'm going to be talking about beforehand. And say the next question, please.
Is this on? Yeah. First of all, I just wanted to say your tie is absolutely gorgeous. And my question was, do you think that epigenetic inheritance could give rise to what we could call a form of Lamarckian evolution?
Here's where Alice and I are going to have a mutual tutorial, so I need to learn from her. As far as I am aware, epigenetics is all about embryology. The embryo starts as a single fertilized egg, a single cell, and as it develops, the different cell types differentiate, and so liver cells are different from kidney cells, different from muscle cells, from bone cells, etc., because different genes are turned on in these different tissues, and that's epigenetics. Now, lately, the word epigenetics has come to be used for a particular example of genes being turned on, and then the turning on being in some mysterious way inherited by the next generation. That may happen, and that's why you've asked the question, because that looks like a kind of Lamarckism. It's unfortunate that the word epigenetics has been usurped for that particular kind of inheritance. But given that it has, what would you want to know if it was to become the basis for a form of Lamarckian inheritance is, does it go on for many generations, or does it die away? And as far as I know, it dies away, if not in the next generation, in the next but one generation, if it happens at all. So that rules it out as a vehicle for evolution in the same way as mutation is a vehicle for evolution. It also, no, I think I've probably said enough. It might be interesting, the phenomena might be there, but if they are, we've got a very long way to go before we use this as an example of possible Lamarckian evolution. As far as I can tell, it is not that. And I think the word is being misused anyway.
I think it adds another layer of complexity, which is very interesting. It, what we're basically talking about is not changes to the genetic code itself, but changes to the proteins that attach to it, and in fact not even changes to the proteins, but the subtle modifications to them, which will then affect actually how the DNA
exactly as happens in embryology anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, the whole key to making a body with lots of different cells, you know, having nerve cells and liver cells and pancreatic cells and all of those sort of things. Every single one of your cells has the same DNA. How do you do that then? Why aren't they all the same? Why aren't they all just clones of each other doing exactly the same thing? You have to be able to turn particular genes on and off. And this is what epigenetics is. So it's modification of those histone proteins, which when I was at medical school, we didn't learn.
This shit looks like it's separating a little bit. I don't know why, but I don't like how that looks.
And so it's got a lot more interesting. And
really
obviously it's out
don't.
there. People know about it out in public domain as well. So that is the major ramification.
Well, I did use some spray paint on here. Is it not sticking to the spray paint? Oh my god. Gambling, you fucked me over.
There does seem to be an effect which spans generations. There
I'm
are
gonna
some
go back to my
studies,
other
some
goddamn
longitudinal studies in
varnish.
humans which suggest it. It hasn't been proven in humans yet. We don't know whether the process by which the gametes are made, the eggs and the sperm, actually involves stripping all of those epigenetic modifications so that you start from scratch. And that may be the case, that maybe that in some simpler animals the modifications stick around for maybe a few generations, but that in humans they don't. We still don't really know, but there is the possibility for them to slightly change the game a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact that the fundamental process is still going to be natural selection.
Very good example of mutual tutorial, thank you.
Where's the next? Oh, there's a gentleman there. You can just pass the microphone to him.
One of the very best things I've seen on YouTube is the hilarious love letters to Richard Dawkins.
Oh, it's just brilliant.
Fabulous, and then the way the cameraman cracks up is wonderful. I was just going to ask if you are thinking of filming another instalment soon.
First of all, Richard, can you explain what they are?
Yes. A few years ago, I filmed. Somebody filmed me reading the hate mail that I get. I think I was probably dressed in a dressing gown.
I'm looking for this and can't
with my feet in slipper.
Because it's in a spot I wasn't on.
Right. Long fire. I don't think I was no.
Something from nothing is, I would say it's totally complete, but it's almost done now. So the painting is done. I just put a varnish on it. The last thing to do is get it wired on the back and get it ready for hanging. And then it's completely done. So that's part one to the self-reflection series, Something for Nothing. This is going to be part two, which is called, I don't know, what's on the inside, maybe. Painting I did of my homie Glennis is done. Painting I did of my friend is done. That's done. 2020, gonna jump off to the jump off with the jump off. So now we're gonna varnish this piece. And now I'm kind of nervous for real because I don't know if I want to brush the varnish over this gold leaf or not. I really don't know. And then plus, see, I'm thinking I should spray it down. Or maybe What if I spray varnish on the gold leaf and then brush around it? Cause I'm really wanting to use this new stuff. I don't know. Separated a little bit on the last one. All right. Let's go ahead and try this shit. I hope I don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Cause everybody watching you. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Cause everybody know you a noob. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Cause everybody watching you. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Cause everybody know you a noob. Oh man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Since I got that Titanfall, man, I be on that shit. I gotta get back on my Wildlands though. still ain't beat none of them fucking raids on that shit yet. None of them. At all. So fucking weird. I can't find a squad to do that shit with. Alright. Bro, I think I did the damn thing, boy. Your boy got that goddamn skills there, boy. What? I still think that might be the last time I buy this fucking pour-on varnish. Like I said, that's why I went to the spray-on varnish. It's just quicker, it's easier, it seems like it gives a more even coat. Um, Alright, clean that brush out from that. hot ass pants. Oh, I actually watched somebody run a half of that one of those moonshine missions. I gotta get on that shit with you. Getting shit done this morning, son. Getting shit done. I don't play around. I don't fuck around with this art shit, man. God damn it. When I call myself an artist, I mean it. Alright, so. I know that's right. We done ran 3 miles for most people wake up. You know what I'm saying? I've been at the gym since early. Getting strong. You know what I'm saying? Working on them shoulders and them pectorials. So I can make my titty bounce. What? Man, you know how many years of training and excruciating pain I have put my body through so I can do this? What? I feel like Hulk Hogan in this shit, son. Motherfucking chest dance. See, motherfucker with them little bird chests can't do that shit, bruh. You ain't got them pectorials, man. This shit is hard work, son. You know what I'm saying? It's hard work getting that man meat. I'm saying you gotta hit a punching bag every once in a while. You know? You want man meat like this? That shit just don't come out the blue, all willy-nilly and shit, man. This is dedication. Put the bird back in the cage, man. See them little motherfuckers take their shirt off. Man, put that bird back in the cage, boy. What's wrong with you, boy? Motherfucker look like you got a negative chest. That shit caved in. What wrong with that, man? You look sickly. You got asthma or pneumonia or something? What's wrong with you? You don't look healthy. You not looking up to the task.
While we wait, I know quite a lot of limericks.
Yeah, I said, put that bird back in the cage.
We're only doing this because of the insane demands of security, which neither dimension nor I asked. We didn't want to be protected from you people. It must needs be that your bags are searched and your person immediately. Needs be. Hey, I'm ready. He's ready.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Father Kevin Augustine. I'm the pastor of the St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Center and the director of the Aquinas Institute for Catholic Thought. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to our second annual debate in honor of our patron, St. Thomas Aquinas, whose feast day is celebrated on January 28th.
So funny.
Thomas was a medieval philosopher, theologian,
so quick to take off their shirt,
and the greatest thinker of his day, and one of the greatest of all time. His love of truth, St. Thomas never shied away from a good debate or a heated controversy, and he is best known for his brilliant synthesis of faith and reason. Main methods of education during his day, of arriving at the truth of things, several day-long disputations.
All right, we about to start on
variety of
some more abstract shit.
It is in this spirit that we welcome you.
First, there's some good paint on here, but I'm gonna have to clean this palette because I will be working from this palette this morning. But let me run down stairs. Let me run downstairs and grab something real
The auditorium for allowing us to use this facility. To all the students of the St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Center who helped hold this event together. Thank you, Bodker, the chief architect of this event. And a special thank you to our two speakers tonight, to Mr. Christopher Hitchens and Mr. Dinesh D'Souza, as well as to Dan Kaplis, who has agreed to moderate. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here with us. For many of you know, survey cards were handed out as you came in tonight. This is a little survey for us to see who has come with what views and to what extent people may have been persuaded one way or another. So, of course, you don't want to fill out those cards until after the debate is over. To encourage you to fill out those cards and to turn them in, we will be raffling off an iPod Touch after the debate. Not sure what that is. But I'm sure it's great. Now, to be entered in this debate, which will take place, off stage tomorrow, and we'll contact the winner tomorrow.
All right, we back. I just had to grab some supplies.
Please hand the completed
most people would call these tools of the trade.
Drop them in the boxes.
So I have heard them referred to previously.
The sponsor for tonight's event is the Aquinas.
The man ain't shit without his tools. I don't care what you know.
Which is the intellectual.
I don't care what you know and how well you know it. If you ain't got the tools to execute it, that shit fly out the window. You know what I'm saying? Throw all that shit out the window. You can be the best mechanic in the world. Know how to build an engine from scratch. If you ain't got the right tools, you ain't doing shit. So I had to go grab my tools.
Without compromise or dilution, to the gospel of Jesus Christ as expressed.
The gospel of Jesus Christ is totally bogus.
As you know from tonight's events, one of the many ways that we apply this mission is through an on-campus lecture series.
On-campus lecture series, how to brainwash young kids.
We speak on a wide range of topics pertinent to our day and age.
Pertinent to our day.
I have done several interviews in anticipation of this event. Often questions is asked from genuine surprise, although to me I have to admit it's a little strange. It goes something like this. Are you doing this? Aren't Catholics supposed to be closed-minded? Afraid of questions and disputes? Is this some new modern approach? My response has been no, this is not particularly a modern approach. In fact, it's actually quite medieval. As Catholics, we are not afraid of a good debate, intellectual dialogue, and posing difficult questions, especially the most basic, which also tend to be the most profound. Who are we? Where do we come from? What is our purpose? What does it mean to be human? Achieve the good or happy life in the classical sense of Aristotle. I believe, of course, that reason is on our side. But why not fight it out a bit? We believe that faith and reason are not opposed to each other. Rather, they illuminate one another.
That shit is
Together,
sweet.
they help the human person to
Sweet
arrive at
Jesus.
truth. It is with these principles in mind that we host tonight's event. Just a reminder that this is an intellectual debate rather than an emotional one. Feel free to applaud.
Goddamn.
But please refrain from any outbursts or booing. Are interested in finding out more about the St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Center, the Aquinas Institute, or upcoming events, there is more information available in the entryways. Said all that, it brings me great pleasure to introduce to you tonight's moderator, Mr. Dan Kaplis. Mr. Kaplis graduated with honors from the University of Colorado at Boulder, where he also served as student body president and was named the National Evans Scholar of the Year, and was then awarded a Juris Doctor degree from the University of Colorado School of Law. To you, Dan served on the Parish
Gray
Council of St.
Python.
Thomas Aquinas Catholic Center. He is a respected legal analyst, and he has been a regular guest on national interview shows such as Larry King Live and The O'Reilly Factor. He is the host of the award-winning Kaplis and Silverman Show on 630 KHOW. Kaplis' work on behalf of the disadvantaged has been recognized by numerous organizations, and recent honors include the Pro Vitae Award from the Archdiocese of Denver. In connection with his media work, 5280 magazine named Dan among the 25 most powerful in Denver. Kaplis is married to Amy Sporer Kaplis, are the proud parents of two wonderful children, 11-year-old Joe and 8-year-old Caroline. Please welcome Mr. Dan Kaplis. Thank you, Father. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Checking some comments.
Let's hear it for Father. Not only is he not afraid of opposing points of view, but he brings in one of the most brilliant, effective, sought-after speakers in the world on that point of view in Christopher Hitchens. And so we're all grateful for that.
What the fuck?
Hey, and a quick
Motherfucker
note
just
about the Thomas.
come out his body, you turn around, start looking at yourself. Then yourself look at your spiritual self like, sizzles, nigga. Motherfucker just.
As Father said, we're not in church tonight. We know that because our
Is that me?
in the front row. And so
Yes, it's you.
that means that
Oh shit!
Oh,
you just have an out of body experience of that shit.
I love Christ. I love traveling to go to Christ. But I look forward to tonight with these two guys more than any fight I can remember because there's.
Yo, I hit that shit. I saw my own spirit. It was looking at me. That's when I realized I was just a vessel.
I mean, highly unlikely anybody is going to leave with a broken nose, but these are two brilliant men, and they are deeply committed to their positions, and they are in it to win it. They are here tonight to win, and then the format sets up beautifully for that. Unlike those presidential debates, which we all know are anything other than debates, tonight will be. Tonight will be, and we're going to go this way. Dinesh will get 15 minutes to open, and then Christopher will have a 15-minute opening. Guy down there taking notes, that's good. If you get all this right, you get a free pass into CU Law School. Dinesh then gets a 5-minute rebuttal, Christopher a 5-minute rebuttal, but then they go mano a mano. They get 15 minutes head-to-head, directly questioning each other, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And then rather than, they've each given up some time at the end with their closing statements to give more time to you, and everybody's grateful you came out on such a cold night and packed Mackey Auditorium. So we'll have a full 40 minutes at the end for audience questions. The operative word being questions, not speeches, not statements, etc. I have the privilege of hosting a talk show, so if we have to cut people off, we will. Not to be mean, but the whole idea is to take advantage of our time with these two gentlemen. And then Father Kevin will have the taser if anything goes Goes on too well. You don't want to be the don't tase me bro guy. Trust me. Christopher Hitchens.
Yo, ready.
What an opportunity. Whether you come in with a point of view similar to Christopher's or like some of us with an opposing point of view, it does not matter. This man is fascinating. He got the most recent one. God is not great. How religion.
Oh my God.
Forbes magazine, one of the most influential liberals in the United States, according to Forbes. Of course, a prominent editor with Vanity Fair. And again, truly one of the most sought-after speakers in the world on this topic and others as well. And, equals here. Dinesh D'Souza, Dinesh, a native of Mumbai, India, and the author of What's So Great About America and What's So Great About Christianity, two separate books, both bestsellers. New York Times calls Dinesh one of the most influential conservative thinkers in America. Again, he one of the most admired and sought-after defenders of the faith, and also a foreign policy analyst in the Reagan administration. Let's hear it for both of our outstanding guests tonight. Good job.
Yeah, we're about to post some crazy ass shit on fucking Instagram, bro. Swear to fucking God, this is straight how it be.
I'm delighted to be here. This is a great venue, beautiful venue. My podium's a little narrow, but
Yeah.
I'm also great inside to wear pants. And not
The only reason that shit's so funny, yo, because I struggle with that shit so bad. Like, where my bed is at, the fucking outlet is, like, in the center, like, right, man. Yo, I got a long-ass charger cord, and my headboard, it has post on it. So, man, I got my charger plugged in behind the bed, and I got the cord tied around one of the fucking posts on my fucking bed. That shit is tied in a knot, and then the rest of it is on the bed, like, so that shit don't fucking come loose like that. Yo, that shit is too crazy. That nigga, like, slide his finger, like, one slide, two slide, bitch, just go. Oh my fucking God. That shit was not, and then he got it in there, and then moved back, then the shit come unplugged again, like, you son of a bitch. I just need to charge the phone. I will tie you to the post, you bitch. Because you will never aggravate me like this again. And then my friend stayed the night with me. And we were in the dressing room, and I was ironing some clothes, and she just was in there chilling with me, and she plugged her phone in, and I didn't think about it. And I'm ironing clothes and shit, and then when she's done with the charger, she lays it on the bed, and I'm like, is that my charger from behind the bed? She was like, yeah.
They care about the idea of the individual.
You untied my... But she put it back. She put it back exactly how I had it. But it was like, why didn't you just use a different charger? That's why the shit is tied, so that you don't have to move it, so that it doesn't move. But anyway, that fucking clip right there, that shit was stupid funny. Yeah, that shit. That shit is stupid funny.
But very specifically, the active work of Christianity brought this very value.
Nigga, it's the slot, the other slot. It's just get the fuck. What the goddamn bitch? Alright, I'm done. of the damn.
Of course, we mean classical
Get
reason.
the fuck in there.
Some, I think we mean the combined legacy of
Oh
Christ
my
and
God.
faith. If you look at a list of what we can for a moment call the atheist virtues, you can ask, is it true that those virtues are ours, shared by believer and
Damn.
non-believer alike, because of this legacy of Athens and Jerusalem? Consider for a moment the virtue of compassion. Go to ancient Greece and Rome before Christianity and look for that virtue. Aristotle makes a list of the virtues. Compassion, by the way, does not appear on the list. For Aristotle, it's something more like a vice. Compassion comes into the West as a new virtue with Christianity. Or consider something else, the value or preciousness of human life. An important value in our culture.
Oh shit, somebody just asked me,
Ancient Sparta,
do you do graphic illustrations for children's books? And I said, yes, I do. Are you a writer? The only thing about that is, I don't do graphic illustrations for children's books. But I said, yes, I do anyway. Because I will do matter of fact, I have done some graphic illustrations for children's books. I was too lazy to finish it because I'm a major procrastinator, and it was for free basically. And my homie got somebody else to do it. But I did a couple pages of that shit, yo. I have that sketch pad somewhere. I'm pretty sure I still have that pad somewhere. I would definitely have to look for it. Like that shit, I couldn't reach out and grab that shit right now, but
some people say, well, we have to wait till the Enlightenment and the modern period for that to happen. Not true. Slavery was in fact withered and abolished in Western civilization and in Europe, largely between the 4th century and the 10th century. There's a second anti-slavery movement in the modern era, in which groups of Quakers and evangelical Christians began to take the idea, a theological idea, that we're created equal in the eyes of God, draw from that a political lesson. Namely, no man has the right to rule another man. Consent. Wait, this idea becomes not only the moral root of abolition, slavery. If you think about it,
yo,
it's also the moral root of
y'all go to my fucking Instagram and Facebook, yo. Check this shit out.
democracy is based on the idea that no man, no person has the right other without consent. So the point I'm trying to make here is that whatever you think of God, even if you're not a believer, it seems to me to be the beginning of intellectual and historical honesty to acknowledge that all of us, Christian and non-Christian alike, are in fact standing on a pillar that we ought to respect and acknowledge. Senses even the values that Christopher Hitchens stands.
Alright, I'm gonna do stuff. I mean, I already did stuff. Shit. I'll do some shit right now. Be creative. Think like an artist. Sorry. Do something. Say something brilliant, you know?
Religion is based on faith. That's not so.
Fuck.
Science too is based on 3 faith-based propositions that can in no way be derived from reason, and in fact are the direct legacy of Christian theology. Those 3 faith-based propositions in a rational universe. It's not exactly obvious. You or I can be rational if we have a brain. As far as we know, there's not possess a brain. It's presumed to be rational. Finally, not only is the universe was presumed to be rational and lawful.
All right.
It's presumed by modern science to be mirrored in the rationality.
Got a big bag of trash. I will dispose of that momentarily.
Atoms and molecules and neurons and circuits. Look at all the whirring that's going on in here. One-to-one correspondence with the rotation of the planets.
Oh yeah.
Or E
I forgot.
MC
I need
squared,
this
or any
in
of the
front of
stuff
me.
going on out there.
Even though I just emptied.
Why should there be a match between the two? What is the reason? In fact, no reason. Now, if you're a Christian, all of this makes a certain kind of scheme. You could say, I believe God is omniscient, which is another word for super rational. So hey, he made a rational world. God's a lawgiver. He gave us the moral law, the 10 Commandments, let's say. So it's not too surprising he gave us the physical law, the laws of nature. We believe we're created in the image of God, which is to say we have in us a spark of that divine rationality. For it's not entirely mysterious that we're capable of comprehending, of apprehending the world out there. But my point is, if you're an atheist, you've got to take these things 100% on faith.
That's a lot of paint.
It's no
that I'm
accident
wasting.
that modern science,
Hate doing that.
scientific method, laboratories, verification, checking, did not develop simultaneously in all cultures. It developed in Western culture. And this, I believe, is the explanation for it. Now, what's so great about God? Something that's great about God is that he has given us a universe adapted or finely tuned.
Hold on, what
for
develop
life.
in Western cultures?
What I mean by this?
'Cause,
I don't mean that we live on a lucky planet that happens to be the right to rule another with.
Anytime you hear intellectuals or scholars use the term Western, it basically means European, and European basically means white. So if you hear our Western ideology or Western culture, it basically means thoughts and ideas of white people. And now and this is an Arab guy, and he just made a quick claim about Western culture and what type of way of why they believe in Christ or something. Take this back, homie. Hear what you say, right?
Well, we have to wait till the Enlightenment and the modern period for that to happen. Not true. Slavery was in fact withered and abolished in Western civilization and in Europe, largely between the 4th century and the 10th century. Then there was a second anti-slavery movement in the modern era, in which groups of Quakers and evangelical Christians began to take the idea, the theological idea that we're created equal in the eyes of God, draw from that a political lesson. Namely, no man has the right to rule another man. Consent. The way this idea becomes not only the moral root of abolition or anti-slavery, it's also, if you think about it, it's also the moral root of democracy. Why? Because democracy is based on the idea that no man, no person has the right to rule another without consent. And so the point I'm trying to make here is that whatever you think of God, even if you're not a believer, it seems to me to be the beginning of intellectual and historical honesty to acknowledge that all of us, Christian and non-Christian alike, are in fact standing on a pillar up to respect and acknowledge. In some senses, even the values that Christopher Hitchens stands by would not be here, and he wouldn't hold them if it wasn't for the role of Christianity in the world.
What?
I want to suggest that even modern science is rooted in not just theist, but specifically Christian assumption.
So he must be a Muslim, or I don't know, but you wouldn't have. I hate when people say you wouldn't have morals if you didn't have some type of religion, because I find it fascinating, so very fascinating, that the numbers of them are dramatically shrinking, and it's probably down to single digits by now. But there are several uncontacted human, you can call them tribes or civilizations, that still live the same way people lived 20, 30,000 years ago. There's, a couple pockets of these people still in South America, some of them off the coast of Africa. But these people never, ever had the need for any kind of Western or Middle Eastern or Africa or any kind of religion, period. They never had the need for this shit. And they've been in existence, in coexistence, and with more harmony with the planet than modern society. And they don't need that shit. So when this dude says, where would you get your moral code from if there wasn't religion? If the way civilizations are structured weren't structured on religion, where would you get your moral code? Like, once again, man, some of these uncontacted tribes know nothing of your religious or your religion or your religious structure, and they still find a way to coexist and get along for thousands of years without killing themselves off or whatever. You don't need that shit to be moral and civil. You don't need religion for that shit. And that's something that I always like. Oh, well, if there wasn't God, then people would just be raping and murdering. Like, no, the fuck, people won't just be raping and murdering if they don't believe in God. That shit is a fucking stupid ass concept, yeah. Exactly. And that's all it is. And then when you look at the major events in history that got us to the way our societies are currently structured, all of these things mostly are holy wars. Holy wars have shaped the way the world is. And that's why you still have this shit over there in Palestine going on. It's like they still fighting this shit from Bible days. It's the weirdest fucking thing, yo. And like all of this violence and death and shit is caused by religion, where more secular countries who've ditched Zeus and Hermes and Odin, and Jesus and all that shit, man, it's like, man, that shit is bullshit. They ditch all of that shit and they live a nicer, kinder life, yo. That's when the Sentinelese, yo. Off the coast of fucking Africa, yo, these motherfuckers, the blackest, the purest people on this fucking planet, bro. The purest humans. A real human being. Everything else is mixed. The majority of everything else is not pure human. But the Sentinelese are 100% Homo sapiens sapien, modern human beings. And they've never been mixed with nothing, ever. And they got the purest melanin in their skin, yo. And these motherfuckers have been in existence on this little island for thousands of years, and they don't need a religion, or not one that we would understand the way that they, view how they came into existence. Who knows what they think about, what their origin and their creation thoughts are like. But it's definitely, it wouldn't be nothing like fucking God or any of that shit. And that's the thing, motherfuckers just keep trying to get close to him, man, not knowing that one little dirty ass outsider can touch these people, man, and give them goddamn chicken pox or some shit and kill all these motherfuckers off. Cause they ain't never been exposed to none of no nasty ass germs from Europeans, basically. Yo, that shit is wild, yo. Like, I don't know. Seem like everywhere the Europeans went, man, they just spread germs and disease. It's like, what the fuck, yo? Like, stay the fuck away from them people. You cough on them one time, like that shit don't even mean nothing to you. You just cough a regular, and it's nothing. But man, your germs get on them people, man. You don't know what the fuck that shit'll do. And so that rant came from this theist, obviously saying that, oh well, you wouldn't have morals if the world wasn't structured by religion. Like, really? One word, crusades. 2 words, witch burnings. Like, yeah, religion. That's the way to go.
This seems a little bit strange to some people because they say, oh, science is based on reason, but religion is based on faith. It's not so. Science, too, is based on 3 faith-based propositions that can in no way be derived from reason, and in fact are the direct legacy of Christian theology. Those 3 faith-based propositions: number 1, we live in a rational universe. Not exactly obvious. You or I can be rational because we have a brain. As far as we know, does not possess a brain. Yet it is presumed to be rational. This is also presumed by modern science to be lawful, to have operations that can be described in the lawful language of mathematics. Not only is the universe presumed to be rational and lawful, the rationality of the world out there is presumed by modern science to be mirrored in the rationality of our own minds. But that's the strangest fact of all. Brain is made up of atoms and molecules and neurons and circuits. All the whirring that's going on in here, one-to-one correspondence with the rotation of the planets, or E equals mc squared, or any of the stuff going on out there. Why should there be a match between the two? What is the reason? In fact, no reason. Now, if you're a Christian, all of this makes a certain kind of to you. You can say, I believe God is omniscient, which is another word for super-rational. So, hey, he made a rational world. God's the lawgiver. He gave us the moral law, the 10 Commandments, let's say. So it's not too surprising he gave us the physical law, the laws of nature. We believe we're created in the image of God, which is to say we have in us a spark of that divine rationality. For it's not entirely mysterious that we're capable of comprehending, of apprehending the world out there. But my point is, if you're an atheist, you've got to take these things 100% on faith. Notice that it's no accident that modern science, the scientific method, laboratories, verification, checking, did not develop simultaneously in all cultures. It developed in Western culture. And this, I believe, is the explanation for it. Now, what's so great about God? Something that's omniscient, which is another word for super-rational.
How wrong is
hey,
this?
He made a rational world.
How wrong is this?
I believe God's a lawgiver. He gave us the moral law, the 10 Commandments, let's say. So it's not too surprising he gave us the physical law, the laws of nature. believe we're created in the image of God, which is to say we have in us a spark of that divine rationality, and therefore it's not entirely mysterious that we're capable of comprehending, of apprehending the world out there. But my point is, if you're an atheist, you've got to take these things 100% on faith. That it's no accident that modern science, the scientific method, laboratories, verification, checking, did not develop simultaneously in all cultures.
Modern science did not develop simultaneously in all cultures. It developed in Western cultures. Are you fucking kidding me? Science labs and all that shit, man, that shit is old as fuck, way before any Western civilization, man. There's been fucking alchemy is the first form of science, really. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck shit is made of, yo. That shit is African and Middle Eastern, yo. I mean, fucking science of medicine is old as shit. Fucking all the sciences are old as hell. That shit didn't science and the scientific method. I mean, refining the scientific method, yeah, maybe, but that statement don't really sound right. Let me see how he worded this thing again, because he specifically said the scientific method. But still, in order for the ancient civilizations to have medicine, architecture, and engineering, astrology, they had to have used a type of methodology to their science, which predates European cultures. The scientific method. There was a scientific method to mummification that took a hypothesis and then the experimentation to come up with what would be considered a fact. Oh, well, you take your theory and turn it into a hypothesis and then a fact. But still, the process of mummification didn't just happen in one afternoon. And so the scientific method of mummifying a human body predates European cultures. Am I not understanding him right?
Faith-based propositions that can in no way be derived from reason. Are those three faith-based verses? It's not exactly obvious. You or I can be rational because we have a brain. As far as we know, does not possess a brain. And yet it is presumed to be rational. The universe is also presumed by modern science to be lawful, to have operations that can be described in the lawful language of mathematics. And finally, not only is the universe presumed to be rational and lawful, but the rationality of the world out there is presumed by modern science to be mirrored in the rationality of our
modern
science.
Modern science.
Think about it, that's the strangest fact of all. Your brain is made up of atoms and molecules and neurons and circuits. Why should all the worrying that's going on in here have a one-to-one correspondence with the rotation of the planets, or E equals mc squared, or any of the stuff going on out there? There be a match between the two. What is the reason? In fact, no reason. Now, if you're a Christian, it makes a certain kind of to you. You can say, I believe God is omniscient, which is another word for super-rational. So, hey, he made a rational world. I believe God's a lawgiver. He gave us the moral law, the 10 Commandments, let's say. So it's not too surprising he gave us the physical law, the laws of nature. And we believe we're created in the image of God, which is to say we have in us a spark of that divine rationality. And therefore it's not entirely mysterious that we're capable of comprehending, of apprehending the world out there. But my point is, if you're an atheist, you've got to take these things 100% on faith. That it's no accident that modern science, the scientific method, laboratories, verification, checking, did not develop simultaneously in all cultures. It developed in Western culture, I believe is the explanation for it. Now,
that don't, once again, man,
what's so
where did algebra come from? Where did the strongest mathematics come from?
Is that he has given us a universe adapted or finely tuned for life. Here's what I mean by this. I don't mean that we live on a lucky planet that happens to be the right distance away from the sun. I rather mean that if you look at the fundamental numerical values of nature, hydrogen atom, the mass of the proton is 1,836 times the mass of the electron. If you look at the gravitational force, the electromagnetic force, the strong nuclear force, if you look at all the different constants of nature,
what about algebra?
One physicist, Lee Smolin, says, it's almost as if God is sitting at a table with a bunch of dials in front of him. What happens, science asks, if the scientists sneak into the room, each dial now reflects a certain numerical value of nature? What if you fool with the dials? Change them a little bit. This issue, by the way, is discussed by Stephen Hawking in his book, A Brief History of Time. Hawking points out that if you touch one of the dials, he's talking about the rate of expansion of the universe, and you move it, not 10% or 1%, but 1 part in 100,000 millionth million, you would have no life. This mean? What it means is not just our planet, but the entire universe has to be as big as it is and as old as it is and have precisely the numerical values that it does, because if it didn't, it wouldn't be here. The universe appears to be a kind of giant conspiracy to produce, well, us. And I think we owe a little bit of a thank you note to God for that one. Or perhaps Christopher Hitchens will come up with a better explanation. Now, I think we also need to be grateful to God, if you will, because of something that we have uniquely that makes us human. Something that in some strange sense almost appears to defy natural explanation. And by natural explanation, what I mean, of course, is not just the explanations of evolution or Darwin, but in a deeper sense, the explanation of being captive to physical laws. While all objects in the universe operate according to fixed laws, a stone, for example, has no choice but to roll down a hill, has very little choice but to run after an antelope.
Yeah, this is my cell phone.
Two rather distinct domains. And way we are. Second domain.
Yeah. You said you were working and you wanted a friend to come by.
Our nature. And what's particular about the second domain, the domain of the ought, it appears to be free. In other words, you could never say to someone, you ought to do this, or you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't discriminate on the basis of race, or you shouldn't be a gay basher, if they have no choice in the matter. If their decision was solely determined by physical laws, all of morality would be an illusion. Morality is as real of a fact in the world as any other. It's as real as this watch in front of me. If there are human beings who are without morality, we don't have philosophical disputations with them. We put them in straitjackets them away. They're
Oh,
sociopaths.
I don't work on Fridays.
What I'm trying to make here is that not only is morality,
I'm
if
at
you
home
will,
right now, and I'll be
strange
there.
fact
I'll be there
in the
Monday,
world, but
but
it's a
Monday will
fact
be my
that
last
militates
day
against
there
self-interest.
until the new year. I won't come back to work until
Part of its
January
peculiarity.
2nd.
Atheist. Hey, I'm grateful to Christianity. I'm grateful to
On Monday,
history of
around 4
Christianity.
o'clock.
What should I do about all this?
Yeah.
What you should do about all this is number one, respect the fact that our world is the way it is, and your values are the way you are,
4 o'clock, and
because
they
of
are
God,
ring me from
and
the front.
specifically because of Christianity. And you might do well to consider living as if there is a God. Ultimately, that will make you a better person.
8:30.
And if you give thanks to God, and if you talk to God, you never know. He might say something back.
And where are you working at? What do you guys doing out there?
Yes, sir.
A baker? Okay, that's what's up.
Thank you, Dinesh. Am I audible to all? Make it more convincing. Can you?
Man, you'll be hungry all day smelling that,
thank you,
smelling
Dinesh.
that bread and pastries.
Dinesh is
You'll
quite
be
right to
hungry all
say,
day
and I've said
smelling
to
all
you,
that bread
that
and
there's no
pastries and
element of
stuff.
prearrangement in any of our debates. We've never concerted or compared notes before starting.
No, I said that smelling that stuff all day, it doesn't make you hungry?
Speeches twice. We've sometimes repeated each other and each other's arguments. But there must be anything unique somewhere this evening, because he wanted to praise me and my fellow atheists for our compassion. Must be some mistake here, at least in my case.
Oh.
One of the very few times I've ever felt like being a Christian is when reading how the early church fathers lost.
I gotta say, man, cause smelling all that good stuff in there, man, I'll be hungry all day long smelling that stuff.
The alleviation of the first 100 million years of saying thank you, for example, would say, well, at least you can go to the lip of the thing and look down and see the screams and wails and torments of the damned. Cheered up, and I think, that's me. I'd be religious on that basis.
Oh my God.
One of my very few pleasures, actually, is crowing over the misfortunes of other people and trying to add to those misfortunes. And I'm hoping, in fact, to score a few points
I'm a cheesecake man.
Tonight.
You can bring me a cheesecake, I would surely appreciate it.
Thomas Aquinas, like me, didn't believe in astrology, or rather, he didn't think you should try it because it would only let the demons in. That was a very dangerous science, the sort of thing that could allow the devils a foothold. Unlike me, believed himself capable of levitation. Had a higher opinion of himself, in fact, as a debater than I do of myself. But Dinesh has left me with no chance.
That's what's up. Well, I'm so happy you got some employment, man. But like I said, I'll be in the office Monday, whatever time you can be there. And like I said, I'll be there about 8:30. So whenever you want to swing by, just I'll be there waiting for you.
There's an off chance. I thought someone wrote that. It was a huge bestseller before the First World War. Enormous international bestseller. I'll very quickly summarize its plot for you. This time there comes a report that the bones, the grave, in other words, the cadaver, the remains of a Nazarene martyr, evidently someone who'd been subjected to crucifixion, have been discovered.
Oh, wow.
The tomb where a stone had to be rolled away to unearth it. And more the rumor is believed and reported in the international press that the mortal remains of Jesus of Nazareth have been found. What are the consequences? Well,
no. That's what we do, man. As much as I can help you out, bro. As much as I can help you out.
They don't care for family values anymore. They dissolve the ties of kinship that bond them with their own relatives, indeed with other human beings.
Yeah, and then when I'm at the office, I have to I give you my work phone number too, because I don't hardly use my work phone number that much. But when I be at the office, my phone be on my desk a lot, and I do miss a lot of calls. I apologize about that too. I need to be better about holding this phone. Like I say, I'll definitely get you my desk number, and then you can call me whenever I'm at my desk.
Which makes the Da Vinci Code or the Left Behind series seem like Proust or Balzac or George Eliot. Because unless you believe
Yeah.
something like that, everything he
Yeah.
has just said to you is complete nonsense from beginning to end. I invite you to the thought experiment. If it could be shown to you that the figure of the Nazarene was in fact, as we believe, entirely mythical, as was the figure of his mother, as
Yeah.
was the figure of Vishnu,
I know how they can be.
as was the revelation supposedly given to the illiterate Arabian merchant, peasant, Muhammad, the man calling himself the prophet.
Okay.
As was the existence of Moses and the legend of the Exodus. If all of this can be shown as it can be, I haven't time for it, but I'll take any
I'd
challenge.
definitely like to hear that
To
too.
be an entirely man-made legend, would you really look at your neighbor differently? Are you telling me, or are you willing to be told, even by someone as fluent and charming as Dinesh, that it would be true of yourself, that you would then become a thief, that you would then become a liar, that you would then not condemn a rapist, that you would then have no knowledge of the difference between a right action and a wicked one? I don't think there's anyone in this room who could be so abject, so wanting in self-respect, so masochistic, so subject, and I'm coming back to this, so servile, as to believe any such thing. And if I had to stop now, that's all I would really have wanted to say this evening. But as I say, I didn't come to be compassionate. I have some more suffering to inflict on you before I'm done. Morally, ethically, I submit we would be precisely the same
you got
page
something
as we are
in
now.
between time. The best time to
If,
look
as
for a
is in
job
fact
is
the
when you
case,
already got a
these
job.
theories are
So
proved to be
you know how that
man-made
works.
legends. We would be faced with the same questions that we are ever faced with. What are our duties to one another? Why are we here? Does our existence have a meaning or a purpose or a pattern beyond what we can discern?
You do say.
How can we build the just city?
Dang.
Does our presence here have a point? These questions predate monotheism. Thought someone waved there.
I'd say I'm grateful to Christianity. I'm grateful to...
I miss all of Christopher Hitchens' first opening statement. But that was, so I do like, it's weird because I feel like I need a fucking therapist my damn self. But at work, I do a counseling session. It's called Men's Group, and it's for individuals who are either recently released from prison or some incarceration institution, or someone who is potentially going to face incarceration. And so once a week, Tuesdays from 10:30 to 11:30, I sit down with a group of guys and basically just try to talk about their problems or their issues, or what can we do to make things better for them, you know? What resources can we tap? You know, what programs can we start in order to make your life easier and make things go better for you? Yeah, so this is a guy who recently started coming to Men's Group, and so I was trying to get him a job at the factory where I used to work at, but I don't know, he says they're taking a while to get back to him, so he found a different job at a bakery, and it's not exactly what he wants, but it's an easy job, and but it's a little bit farther out than he thought it was, and he's going to need a few bus passes to get to and from work until he can receive his first paycheck. So he was hoping I was at the office now, but told him to come up there Monday, and I'll give him a grip of bus passes so he can, make it back and forth to work next week. But next week is a holiday week, though, so, but still, I'll give him a couple bus passes. And then he says he has, he was in a halfway house when he got out of jail. And he says he has another guy he met in the halfway house who's interested in coming to men's group. And like I said, they consider me to be a counselor, but it's weird that, to say that to myself, that, I'm giving someone else counsel. I'm just trying to come up with good ideas based on what you telling me. You got arrested for selling drugs? You know what? The first and obvious thing that you should do is stop selling drugs. Okay? Do you want to talk about not selling drugs? Should we have an in-depth conversation of risk versus gains, freedom versus incarceration, positive community image versus socially stigmatized images, employment versus unemployment, and this can all be mitigated very easily by you stop selling drugs. You got arrested for doing drugs? Guess what the first thing we need to accomplish? We need to get you to stop doing drugs. Yeah? See? And this is how we go about this process. Now, after we understand that selling drugs and doing drugs will only get you arrested. So what should we do instead of selling drugs and doing drugs? We should earn an honest living by being gainfully employed. How do we do this? We need to make ourselves a viable candidate to an employer who is looking for an individual who possesses our specific set of skills and qualities. What are your skills and qualities? Well, I can sell drugs. I can do drugs. And we just take it from there, Yo, changing the world one life at a time. I went to jail for beating up my girlfriend. First thing you should do, stop beating up your girlfriend. Yeah, okay. All right. So we got that out the way. What's next? After you stop hitting that bitch. Huh? Let's talk about emotional damage, baggage, and adverse childhood experiences which may cause long-term trauma. See? It's simple. Anybody can do this. But they say, oh, Mr. Prince, you're a counselor now. I'm counseling people. Bam, 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 bam. Still talking to this author about being an illustrator for their books. This nigga. Yo, my man so motherfucking smooth, yo. That shit crazy. Yeah. That shit looking hella dope. I posted an old video. I never saw it, but it's from like over a year ago. I guess some cops get called out to a house somewhere for whatever reason, and there's kids in the house. Like kids, like several of them. Like there's like 3 or 4 kids in the house. And the cops are walking through the house looking for whoever they're looking for, and Two of the kids are in the living room. One of them is a 9-year-old little girl, and she's sitting on the floor in front of the couch. You know that spot that's comfortable for a little while, like if you're getting your hair done or something. Somebody sits on the couch, you sit right there in front of them. So she's sitting on the floor, leaning back on the couch, and they got a pretty fair-sized dog. It kind of looks like it might have been a German Shepherd or something. Obviously, it's their dog. The dog's not fucking with the kids or anything. So, I guess the cop approached the living room where the kids were at in a hostile manner. And the dog, you didn't even hear the dog bark or anything. The dog just approached the cop trying to figure out what the fuck his intentions are. And the cop was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Bow, bow, bow. And shot 3 fucking times in their living room trying to kill the dog. And wound up shooting a fucking 9-year-old girl. Don't know where they shot her. I couldn't even watch the whole video. The shit was fucking crazy. It's insane, yo. It's like, I turned the shit off. Because you just hear the little girl screaming like bloody murder, like, ah! Ah! Like, it's like, what the fuck? Did you just shoot that kid? Like, ah. And that shit was crazy. But somebody just shared it on their fucking Facebook page. It's like, yeah, that shit is harsh. That shit is rough to look at. Why are you trying to kill this fucking dog? Are you so scared of getting bit by a dog that you're just gonna fire your gun all willy-nilly inside someone's fucking living room where kids are at? Like, you need better training or an arm pad or I don't fucking know, something else. You need to know how to take down an animal with your bare hands, or I don't fucking know. But you shot 3 times in the fucking living room of the house where the kids were at because the dog was walking to her. Dog didn't even bark. I don't remember hearing the dog bark. And the dog walked. He's like, whoa, 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 pow, 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 like. You that fucking scared? You that fucking scared? Huh? Scared? You that fucking scared of a dog? I'll beat the dog ass, man. I can kick the fucking dog. The dog is here. I stand this tall. The dog stand this tall. He got sharp teeth. I got fucking steel toe boots on, bitch. I'ma kick the dog. Move. Get the fuck off me, dog. I ain't gonna. Bow, 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 bow. Motherfucker trying to kill the dog. Shoot the little girl. And I've never seen this shit, and it's over a year old. It probably took that fucking long for somebody to get that fucking video released to the public. I bet whatever police department sat on that shit for as long as they could. Like, we don't need nobody seeing this. Did the officer get fired? I don't know. Probably not. Probably got suspended with pay. A vacation. You're stressed. You were under pressure. You did what you were trained to do. We're gonna have to suspend you for 6 months with pay. It's not going to be full pay. It'll only be 75% of your quarterly earnings. So, but we still will pay for your health insurance and life insurance while you're on suspension, because you're not fired. But just take a break for 6 months and come back. And just don't shoot any more kids, you know? Unless they're... Well, I'm not going to say that on camera. But you know. You know. What am I gonna do with this motherfucking color blue? I don't really know, man. I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know. What am I gonna do with this color blue? I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know, man. I don't really know. I keep getting text after text message. I getting text after text message. More texting, more text message. All right. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. Mm, mm. Well, I was trying to keep paint off of this shirt, but apparently this nigga can't do that. You know what I should have did, right? I should have taped the banana to this motherfucker. Call it a day. You know, tape a banana to it. No, that's what I should have did. Word. Because we all know bananas make things better. We all know bananas make things better. We all know bananas makes things better. Damn. Bananas makes things better. So you better tape a banana to your canvas. We all know bananas makes things better. So you better tape a banana to your canvas. Oh, tape a banana to your canvas. Oh, tape a banana to your canvas. Oh, tape a banana to your canvas. Because we all know bananas makes things better. And we all know bananas makes things better. So you better tape a banana to your canvas. Oh, tape a banana to your canvas. Oh, tape a banana to your canvas. Oh, because we all know bananas makes things better, so you better. Bananas makes things better, so you better. Tape a banana to your canvas. That could be a hit. It's catchy, it's edgy, it's a meme song. You know? Tape a banana to your canvas. Tape a banana to your canvas. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, da, da, Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. Ooh. edgy. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Rob Shish Kebab. Rob said he gonna give me $5, but I gotta pay the shipping. Damn, something is missing. Oh, Rob said he wanna pay me $5, and I gotta pay the shipping. That shit seems odd. Oh, odd. Mr. Rob Shish Kebab. That shit is odd. $5 for a painting, and I gotta pay the shipping. I think it's something missing. 'Cause Rob, that seems odd. You owe me $5 for those lyrics. I don't entertain motherfuckers for free. That's a low ball. Never have I seen a ball so low. That's an insult to my art. You know what? Lately with these backgrounds, it feels good to just say fuck it and just do some shit. See, I wasn't even thinking about this before I got started, man. None of this shit. A white square on a blue background. But see, when you think about blue, like water, and even the sky, which is basically water. That's why it's blue, evaporation of the water molecules. And water is the essence of life. Like the planet is 75% water. We're made up of almost 80% water. And so what I'm saying is I'm spewing a lot of bullshit right now in order to make my art seem more complex and meaningful than it is. But the beauty comes haphazardly by me not actually caring or giving a fuck about what the end result of the painting is. It's the process that matters. The actual action of applying the paint to the canvas is such a euphoric experience that there need not be a destination pre-planned and ordained. If you understand what I'm saying. pay me $5 for a painting. That shit seems odd. Mr. Bob, she's goodbye. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Dead ass. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I gotta pay for the shipping. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. But I gotta pay for the shipping. Ooh. You don't know how good this feels. Scraping a knife across the canvas like that. It's liberating. It's invigorating, to say the least. Ooh. What up, what up, what up? Wow. Word. Word. Bum 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 bum. Na 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 na. Ooh, ooh, Bob Shiskabad. Dun 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 dun. That shit ain't gonna work. Alright. That's as good as it's gonna get. Niggas wanna test my steez, nigga, please. I black that eye like peas. You better freeze in your tracks. A Wu-Tang killer bees on your back. I'm coming for the honey plus the fat money sack. I want it all, yeah, I want it all like that. I stab my own homes in the back for a sack. And niggas like, damn, why you want it like that? Cause I'm a dog and I got no love for the cat. My attitude cold like a North Pole cat. Where I do my dirt a little further down the map. A little buck wildin', Allen called stat. Where niggas carry gats in they black moon hats. I came to bring the pain, hardcore to the brain. Let's go inside my astral plane. Find out my mental base on instrumental. Check it, hey, so I can write my mental styles. METHOD, man. METHOD. man. METHOD, man. Hey, you, get off my clan. You don't know me, you don't know my style. I don't think y'all ready for that shit. Wedding cake. Shit sounds delicious. METHOD, man. Again. Ooh. All right, okay. All right, okay. All right. I'm feeling that. I mean, y'all ain't got to see my vision to see my vision. You ain't got to see my vision just so you can see my vision. It's a motherfucking blue zebra, bitch. I'm a motherfucking blue zebra. Bob Ross. My nizzle. To be honest, man, you could probably outpaint me on some fucking trees, motherfucker. And it's a tree. Get over yourself. Jesus Christ, this guy. I'll paint you on any day, son. Me, my clouds, my mountains, my conifer trees, my sapling trees, you know? Any day you want it, son. You want to go at it now? Mountains. You see how I did that? Bob Ross outpaint me. That's crazy. That's a crazy idea. I really gotta take a piss. Been here 3 hours already. I might do another hour. We'll fuck around in this canvas. Like I said, I ain't really sure what I'm doing with this motherfucker. Just playing around, making it feel fun. I'm looking for an emotion.
Legacy of Christianity. What should I do about all this? I think what you should do about all this is number one, to respect the fact that our world is the way it is, and your values are the way you are because of God, and specifically because of Christianity. Second, you might do well to consider living as if there is a God, because ultimately that will make you a better person. And if you give thanks to God, and if you talk to God, you never know. He might say something back. Very much.
Silas do it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dinesh. Am I audible to all? Make it more convincing. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you, Dinesh. Dinesh is quite right to have said to you that there's no element of pre-arrangement in any of our debates. We've never consulted or compared notes before starting, and I hope we never will. We've never given the same speeches twice. We've sometimes repeated each other and each other's arguments, but there must have been an energy leak somewhere this evening, because he wanted to praise me and my fellow atheists for our compassion. Some mistake, at least in my case. One of the very few times I've ever felt like being a Christian is when reading how the early church fathers lost for an account of why it is fun to be in paradise. The alleviation of the first 100 million years of saying thank you, for example. Would say, well, at least you can go to the lip of the thing and look down and see the screams and wails and torments of the damned when you want to be cheered up. And I think, that's me. I'd be religious on that basis. One of my very few pleasures, actually, is crowing over the misfortunes of other people and trying to add to those misfortunes. And I'm hoping, in fact, to score a few points of that sort tonight. Thomas Aquinas, like me, didn't believe in astrology, or rather he didn't think you should try it because it would only let the demons in. Dangerous science, the sort of thing that could allow the devils a foothold. Unlike me, believed himself capable of levitation. Had a higher opinion of himself, in fact, as a debater, than I do of myself. But Dinesh has left me with no alternative but to start a position I hadn't ever begun with before, which is to ask anyone here if they've read a novel called When It Was Dark, Thorne. There's an off chance, I thought someone waved that. It was a huge bestseller before the First World War, enormous international bestseller. I'll very quickly summarize its plot for you. From Palestine there comes a report that the bones, that the grave, in other words, the cadaver, the remains of a Nazarene martyr, evidently someone who'd been subjected to crucifixion, have been discovered in a tomb where a stone had to be rolled away to unearth it. More and more the rumor is believed and reported in the international press. All remains of Jesus of Nazareth.
Yo, that fucking blue is banging in this bitch. What the fuck?
This was just what you'd expect.
I ain't think it was that strong.
Wow. They don't care for family values anymore. They dissolve the ties of kinship that bond them with their own relatives, indeed with other human beings. They steal, they rob, they cheat, they lie. All restraint is gone. And it's only by the miraculous discovery that all this initial story was a fraud, put around by Jews and secularists and Freemasons and other riffraff, that morality is restored to the human race. I recommend a reading of this piece of trash novel, which makes the Da Vinci Code or the Left Behind series seem like Proust or Balzac or George. Because unless you believe something like that, everything Dinesh just said to me is complete nonsense. I invite you to the thought experiment. If it could be shown to you that the figure of the Nazarene was in fact, as we believe, entirely mythical, as was the figure of his mother, as was the figure of Vishnu, was the revelation supposedly given to the illiterate Arabian merchant peasant Muhammad, a man calling himself the prophet, as was the existence of Moses and the legend of the Exodus. If all of this can be shown as it can be, I haven't time for it, but I'll take any challenge on any of these points, to be an entirely man-made legend, would you really look at your neighbor differently?
Yo.
Me, or are you willing to be told, even by someone as fluent and charming as Dinesh, that it would be true of yourself?
My man right here. You can't see it. The Red Skull. Butch Loxon from LA gave me a nice compliment. It's like the skin texture is on point. But you go to his page, you know, his art is fucking crazy. He does performance art. That's why I had to paint him a couple of times. I painted him 3 times, yo. And shit, this motherfucker is famous, yo. And he go all over the world. And he was in a video, yo. He was in a couple of videos. He was in a Daft Punk video, I think. And then he was in he did a French Montana video. And this shit is cool. And it's just cool as shit. It's like somebody famous compliments on my art. I like that shit. I asked him if I can paint him though, cause like that's how he make his living off of his performance art. That's a big ass muffin, yo. Yo, this shit says 5.5 ounces. I appreciate it, bro. I gotta get more famous just for you guys, so y'all can see the whole growth. I knew that nigga when he wasn't shit, son. This nigga was a nobody. Now look at him. Think he all in Italy and shit. That piece is too big for my mouth, yeah. I tried to stuff that shit. I already felt myself about to choke to death. Big dry ass muffin. Can't believe that motherfucker comment on that shit. And there's this other famous artist. She didn't comment, but she liked it though. Her name is where'd she go? Oh yeah. You ever heard of this artist named Sydney James? Yo, she's the fucking shit, son. Sydney James. Not there. Yeah, she got 12.3K followers. But her artwork is dope. She does a lot of murals. Her shits are big as fuck, yo. But man, she's young, she's beautiful, she's creative, she's motivated, she's hardworking, yo. And she has murals everywhere. All over Europe and Jamaica, all over the US. She's been in like tons and tons of art magazines and publications and shit. Like, she's a dope ass fucking artist, yo. Sydney James. Yo, how come they keep cloning your shit? Motherfuckers want to be you so bad. So bad. Want to be you so bad. Oh. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
That you would then become a thief, that you would then become a liar, that you would then not condemn a rapist, that you would then have no knowledge of the difference between a right action and a wicked one. I don't think there's anyone in this room who could be so abject, so wanting in self-respect, so masochistic, so subject, and I'm coming back to this, so servile, as to believe any such thing. And if I had to stop now, that's all I would really have wanted to say.
Yo, it's like
this evening.
I can't set my phone down for 2 minutes without getting a text or something.
Some more suffering to inflict on you before I'm done. Morally, ethically, I submit we would be in precisely the same case as we are now, if, as is in fact the case, these stories are proved to be man-made legends. We would be faced with the same questions that we are ever faced with. What are our duties to one another? Why are we here? Does our existence have a meaning or a purpose or a pattern beyond what we can discern? How can we build the just city? Does our presence here have a point? These questions predate monotheism, were debated very earnestly in schools of philosophy in the Mediterranean, long before monotheism was inflicted upon us.
Yes.
And these questions would remain as urgent, and they would have to be posed again and anew in every generation if monotheism were, by chance, to decline, as it has been doing, or even to pass away, which I don't. The nature of polytheism was to undergo a similar collapse. Now, the believers say that the problems I just mentioned don't really exist. They're only problems in the mind of philosophers. The question of how to be moral and why has already been decided. Dinesh, I think, rather too tolerantly said that he had an open mind on matters of faith. He wasn't here to defend the Christian religion or revelation or any of these things. I don't know what kind of, I leave it to the good father, what kind of Catholic Dinesh now seems to be in his own eyes or anyone else's. But in fact, religion means you must believe that God has revealed himself to us and his purpose, that his commandments and wishes are knowable and indeed known by human beings. This revelation has in fact...
The boys don't know about no Project Pat, man. What are you talking
all
about,
that is required is for us to live up to.
Boys don't know about 3-6, Project Pat, them motherfuckers, man.
What kind of dictatorship creates you ill and then orders you to recover? I'll come back to that. But
I'm a walking bankroll. I'm a walking bankroll. Yo, that Pat used to go crazy.
That is what religion is to me. If anyone wants to stand up and say it's not what it is...
Because I got two hoes and them bitches gone off that white.
And that what we're short only of prayer and faith and good works, and that we can
I'm a walking
have our
bank
sins
roll.
expiated for us, that there can be vicarious atonement, that our shortcomings can be taken upon someone else, whose pain and misery and suffering can redeem us. In other words,
boy, you got me want to hear some Project Pat now. I ain't lying. God damn.
I will pay your debt because I know you're in trouble. To spare money. Not that I will take your place in prison, which I might, if I really loved you, be willing to do. Not that I would take a risk for you, put my own body in front of yours to prevent suffering from falling upon your coming, as I would with a child of mine. But know that I can take away your sins. Let them go away.
Y'all want to know what Project Pat famous for? Chicken heads. Chicken heads. Whatever. Man, motherfuckers don't know about that Pat, boy. Chicken heads. She don't wanna be saved, don't save her. 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 We're fucking Walking Bankroll. That was that one. That was the name of the whole album.
Yeah, it's your boy Project Pat up in this thing. This go out to all hustlers in the dirty South, Midwest, East Coast, West Coast. Everybody with stacks in your pocket. Reach in your pocket, man. I'm a walking bankroll. You can rubber band me. I'm a real blow. You can understand me. I'm a walking bankroll. You can rubber band me. I'm a rubber band me. You can rubber band me. I'm a walking bankroll. You can rubber band me.
Yo, I'm a walking bankroll. I'm a walking bankroll. You can rubber band me. Man, I'd probably get banned for playing that little bit of Project Pat. Watch. But it will have been worth it. This nigga brought back some memories. Damn. That's a dude I don't think about all the time. But when you bring his name up, like, yo, Pat was that nigga, yo. Like Pat said, I'm that nigga. Yo. And he ain't never slipped on none of his tracks, yo. That Pat come hard, yo. Pat had like the goddamn, almost like that trap flow, that trap rap flow now. His shit was almost like that way back in the day, yo. How he spit his bars, his little flow and shit, yo. He had this crazy ass, it was simple, but that shit come hard with it, yo. Motherfucking Project Pat. I'm a pure brick of blow. Do you understand me? I'm a walking bankroll. You can rubber band me. You can rubber band me. You can rubber band me. Damn, what was that other track, yo? Boy, Project Pat has Pat has so many hard ass songs, yo. Man, you had too many tracks, yo. That shit brought back memories. I'm a pure brick of blue. Pop, pop, chicken, chicken. Bald head, scallywag. Ain't got no hair in the back. Pop, pop, chicken, chicken. Chicken heads. Chicken, chicken. Chicken head. Chicken, chicken. Chicken heads. Chicken, chicken. Motherfuckers don't even know where that fucking term, how that shit got popular, yo. Old chicken head motherfucker. Yo, President Pat made that shit popular as shit, yo. Yeah, he was pre-T.I., yo. And T.I. that nigga. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucking trap music. And that's where motherfuckers, the genre trap music, everybody say that shit now, but like T.I. was the first motherfucker who had an album. He named his album Trap Music. You know what I'm saying? Before anybody else did that shit. And then years later, you had Gucci Mane come out with the Trap House albums and all his shit. But like that trap shit, that was some straight up Georgia shit, yo. Them Georgia boys came up with that trap. Instead of saying hustle, that's what trap mean. That motherfuckers didn't hustle anymore, they trap. You know, they took risk and prosper. T-R-A-P. Take risk and prosper. Motherfuckers out here trapping. I'm a pure brick of blue. Do you understand me? You can rubber band me. Why can't I find any of my colors? Any one of them. I need colors. I want green and orange and some yellow. Yellow, yes. NT1 oh shit, nigga. Alright. Alright, I only got like 30 minutes. About to hit that 4-hour mark. I'll fuck around with these little colors for a minute, then I'll probably come back. Ah, shit, come on, man. Don't fucking act like that. See how I like these, and then maybe I'll work on this some more tonight or tomorrow morning.
redemption and expiation is possible. In other words, that personal responsibility means nothing. That you can throw your sins onto a scapegoat. Rightly is scapegoating considered by us to be a contemptible term, a contemptible verb. No, it won't do. It won't do morally, it won't do ethically, and there is no reason to suppose that any such moment of vicarious expiation or redemption ever took place. Oh. In my subtitle, this is a lousy microphone, isn't it? Was it only for me? When I said in my subtitle that there's something about religion that poisons everything, I know publishers like controversial subtitles, but I was willing to stand by it, and I knew people would say everything. I mean, cricket, tantric sex, Chinese food. Yes, I sort of do mean, in a way, everything. For this reason, it attacks us in our deepest integrity, in some of the ways I've just tried to describe. It says we don't ourselves have any innate knowledge of what's good or wicked. We couldn't, on our own responsibility, out of our own self-respect, decide upon an action in this way and decide to defend its integrity. We would need divine permission and maybe even a human sacrifice or two to ram it home for this to occur. And I go on to say that it makes intelligent people say stupid things, and it makes decent and kindly people do and say very cruel things. And I'll just give a couple of examples. Would you say, Dinesh, was the lifetime now established scientifically of Homo sapiens? Francis Collins, the Christian, the Human Genome Project, thinks it could be 150,000 years. Richard Dawkins thinks it could be as much as 250,000. I don't know, does anyone, excluding those who think it's only 6,000? What if I call it 100,000? All right then. For 100,000 years, Homo sapiens have been on the planet. Element of evolutionary time. During that time, people were born, dying in the process, or at least a 10 to 20% chance of doing so. If they survive infancy, the odds go up there a lot. They probably have a life expectancy for the first 50, 60, 70,000 years of about 25 to 30 years, usually dying of their teeth. The rending pains of childbirth killing the mothers as well, famine, disease, fear, terror, earthquakes, where do they come from? Thunderstorm, why? Hurricanes, what is this? Volcanic explosions that blot out the sun. A crawling life of fear, of want, and disease, where germs are not known of, don't have a very complete picture. And that's to leave out the wars over territory, over sex, over womanhood, over possession, that additionally take life. And this is the Hobbesian situation. Life is, as Thomas Hobbes describes in Leviathan, very nasty, brutish, and short. And I'm just asking for 100,000 years of this. For the first 98,000 years of it, heaven watches with indifference. Doesn't look terrific, but they're inching along, I guess. I mean, sometimes moving forward, sometimes a bit back, but no. Anyway, let's just see how it goes. 2,000 years ago, it's decided actually now we have to intervene, but only in illiterate parts of the Middle East, to reveal our face to this species and tell them how to behave. That should do it. Now, I can't prove that that did not happen. I cannot disprove that, but I can say of someone who does believe it, that they're willing to believe pretty much anything. And I don't just mean believe pretty much anything that they're told. I mean to believe almost anything about their deity. Because if that is how it happened, it's the same as saying that a universe that contains perhaps 100,000 million planets contains just one, which has one favored mammalian species alone chosen for salvation, while the others go into black holes, white dwarfs, shooting stars, imploding comets, and the rest of it. Believe that if you want. I can't tell you that wasn't the design, but I can tell you, or I can assert, I can make you think, I can ask you to consider whether the person responsible for this is not either very incompetent, very tinkering, very capricious, or very, very cruel. I hope I won't let you go home without leaving these questions in your mind. I'm not going to answer them for you. I'm going to hope I've placed them where you'll have to think about answering them for yourselves. And I see my time is very nearly exhausted. In other words, I think that our morality is innate, our ethics are innate to us, as there are in other mammalian and primate species. It's observable that there are solidarities, there are ways of group behavior, family function and so forth that make it clear that without this kind of evolution we wouldn't be having this discussion. We wouldn't be here if we only looked out for each other, and other primates and mammals know this too. In that case, since the evils are innate in us as well, what are we to do? Are we to invent another supernatural person who's responsible for those, as the religious tend to do? Those don't come from this God, they come from another God, an evil one. Well, fine, if you wish, if you want to do it, if it makes you feel better in some way, invent another supernatural entity. There's an infinite multiplication of them that you can do, as Aquinas did with the demons, as Muhammad did with the desert jinns. Keep multiplying these assumptions. But how long can a healthy mind be satisfied with the infinite replication of supernatural assumptions when the natural world explains itself, and when we already have enough explanation for why people are encoded and programmed the way they are, and where our knowledge of that is increasing all the time? What is, and I'll close on this and I'll be quick, what we risk if we take the supernatural route, the idea of an unchangeable, unalterable authority, one apparently benign, one apparently wicked, both of them eternal, both of them unchanging and unchangeable, and ourselves as their playthings and their objects and their raw material. This is the origin of the idea of the totalitarian, where the idea of tyranny begins with the eternal, unchanging, tyrannical authority, where we must try with our full powers to guess what's wanted of us and to spend our lives on our knees. I say the beginning of emancipation is to repudiate this antique serfdom and all the contemptible and often laughable superstitions that it requires for its maintenance. And the job can be begun tonight, and I invite you to join me in doing so. Thank you.
When I first came to America from India, as an exchange student, I was assigned to live in Arizona. One of my first entertainments was to go to a rodeo. I feel like I'm back at the rodeo, by which I mean, in listening to Christopher Hitchens, I see a point here, a point there, but also a lot of bull in between.
Come on, baby, I could have said that.
Now, as an act of Christian mercy, I will skip over the issue of whether Christ was in fact an historical person. Focus on what I take to be Christopher Hitchens' two main points. One of them, I want to say, a gross misunderstanding of my opening argument, which was in no way the claim that Christianity or religion is the source of all morality in the world. In fact, where do we get morality? I said myself that if we want to figure out what's right or wrong, we get morality from the voice within. Conscience is, for each of us, the practical arbiter of morality. And of course, the atheist and the believer alike share conscience. What I was trying to make was maybe different, and that is one thing to say that the golden rule is universal, and quite another to say that within our civilization, this very important force called Christianity has had some very specific cultural impact. That's not to deny conscience. It's not the claim that in the absence of Christianity there would be cannibalism and genocide. But we would be a very different civilization. We know that. Historically, ask yourself this question. Slavery is universal. Who can name an anti-slavery movement outside of Western civilization? Well, I can. There's always been one group opposed to slavery. That group has been called slaves. But I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about Abraham Lincoln's idea, as I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. That's remarkable. Lincoln doesn't want to be a slave. We know that. He doesn't want to be a master either. It's something else. If tomorrow there was a big famine...
Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Alright. Probably try to grab me some lunch. Might even take a nap. I do have to work today, actually. I gotta work from... Gotta be there like 2 o'clock. If I take a nap, it won't be but 45 minutes, an hour long. Anyway. Oh, man, I had a meeting yesterday. Yeah, had a meeting yesterday at work. Well, I might be getting a little promotion. Might get a little promotion and a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Depending on how things play out, because I do work for a non-profit, so getting money for different things, that shit is weird, yo. It's not just like, oh, you get a raise. You gotta put in for more grant money, but you gotta make sure that it's worded in a way where the money, the funds allocated are absolutely necessary for the mission statement. So I'll be getting cross-trained as basically the IT guy for my organization, and so I can do like computer hacking and like not computer hacking, but whatever IT guys do. Basically, update all the software. Make sure that our systems are in software are always currently updated and protected from malware and spyware, all the fucking viruses and all that shit. And if we get any upgrades, make sure that, you know, all of our upgrades are installed and functioning properly. Shit like that. Just normal basic computer stuff. I'm not trying to write computer code or, you know, build a gaming PC or none of that shit. Just do basic stuff. So, but it is technically like a IT position. I'll be doing all kind of stuff at my job, yo. Just trying to get this ready before I go downstairs. And with that being said, peace.